Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of PK's Place. Today, I'm joined by a good friend of mine, current player for the Rochester Americans in the American Hockey League, and fourth-round pick by the Buffalo Sabers in 2018. It's Matej Pekar. Matej, how are we doing today?
How are you, PK? Good to hear you. Of
Good. I'm good. First, thanks for coming on. I know you're
course.
very busy with still being in season and everything. So, how's the transition been from junior hockey to pro? I mean, I know you spent some time in Czech, which we'll get into that a little bit later, but how
Yeah.
do you think the adjustment has been overall?
Um, Obviously the beginnings were definitely harder. First year coming out of juniors, 20-year-old. You have guys here that their first rookie year is like, coming out of college, 23, 22, 25-year-olds. So it's obviously a little more challenging for me, being a young guy. But I think I'm getting better every day with the adjustment. And especially right now, for the last couple of games, I felt way more comfortable with the puck and everything. So I don't think I wouldn't say it was easy, but I'm getting more and more comfortable every day.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Now, like I said, you started the year in the Czech Republic. How did that come about? I know you're a Czech native. How did the process of getting over there start, especially with the OHL season and everything being up in the air?
Yeah. Well, when I found out that OHL's not playing or AHL's not playing, I did not know where I'm gonna end up or anything or the camp. We didn't even have a like a prospects camp or anything this year. So I just wanted to play. I wanted to be around guys. I wanted to practice with the team, obviously. So my agent called a couple teams in Czech, and the best option came up for my hometown team. And I played half for the Czech team for their farm team and half for the main team. I had a lot of fun there. We had like 1 month off of not playing hockey, which sucked too because of COVID. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good.
That's good to hear. Now, how big of an honor was it for you to actually play in your hometown and have your family be around you and be at games?
Yeah, that was great. We had like no fans policy, but my dad always somehow got in. Um, but it was great. I loved it. I grew up playing for that team since I was like in fourth or fifth, sixth grade, something like that. So I loved it. Loved it.
That's awesome. I mean, it always seems like hockey dads find a way to sneak into the rink. There's always a back door open. And
Yeah.
like you said, you grew up in the Czech Republic. How's the lifestyle different growing up in Czech as opposed to what people like me or other guys that we know that grew up here in North America would say their
Very,
upbringing
very,
was?
very, very different. Like lifestyle is definitely very different. Everything's much closer. Me, people are like more outgoing, outspoken. Um, uh, like mentality is very different, I would say too. Um, and basically, it's hard to explain. I'm trying to find the right words.
No, you're good.
It's
Take all the time you need.
it's uh, it's just different. It's uh, everything's much closer. People don't have like the college route lifestyle, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Um, so it's more of a, like, I would say maybe like a normal people's life back there. I would say, yeah.
hmm Of course. Now, like I said, you eventually would come over across the pond. When did you move to North America, and what was that transition like too?
I came out like 15 or 14, something like that. It was great actually. I love it since I first step on the ice here. Closer rink. The game's much faster, more hitting. So I thought it was pretty fun actually, compared to what I was used to.
Awesome. Now, what the listeners might not actually know is that the two of us actually played a little minor hockey against each other when Matej played for the Oakland Grizzlies. And when you played for them, you were coached by a former NHLer in Todd Bertuzzi. What
Yeah.
was that experience like? And before you start explaining, I remember that game that we played against him. I was out there and one of my teammates hit the crossbar, and for some reason at first they called it a goal, and Todd's on the bench just losing it. Like, how the hell do you call that a goal? Like, yada yada, and the ref ends up calling it off, obviously, but like he was just steaming that game. So what was it like playing for Todd?
It was lots of fun, lots of stories from there. He always wanted us to compete hard, which I felt like we did. The guy's a character. Everyone knows him. I love him. Great guy. Um, he always called me Matty. But no, I loved it. He's a guy. Obviously, lots of games in the NHL. Lots of accomplishments behind him. So I couldn't complain.
Yeah, it's always great to learn from someone who's accomplished a lot. Now, what was the best piece of advice he gave you, or what's one thing that you learned from him as a coach?
He always wanted me to play my game. He wanted me to be the player I can be. I wanted me to be like some super skilled guy. He wanted me to be hard forward that can contribute with skill and plus the hard work, not to be someone else. And I think it was a good, yeah.
Good stuff. Now, you actually then went over to play in the USHL for Muskegon, who my previous guest, Igor Larianov, the second, played for Muskegon a little bit after you. What was that experience like, especially in your draft year and making that jump, obviously, from AAA to junior hockey, especially the USHL, which is a pretty big jump?
Yeah. I think it was my 16. It was like, as you said, my draft, your 17-year-old and 18-year-old year. So it was actually easier than I thought because Coach LaFontaine, he put me with Hakkarainen and Anthony Delgado, and you know I couldn't ask probably for better players in the league that time. They were moving the feet, hitting everything. They were doing everything, scoring. So those guys made it so much easier on me. And plus, we were getting along very good off the ice as well. So um, it was actually great. I love the time there.
Awesome. Now, Igor also mentioned that there's a basketball court attached to the rink. Did you spend any time hooping like him and the Russian Five did?
Yeah, a little bit. We did, yeah. It was usually me and other Igor Afanasyev, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, we'll probably have to run something again with him because he told me he's gonna be back in like 2 weeks in America. So
Oh,
so
absolutely.
uh, so definitely gonna set something up with him again.
Absolutely. Now, other Igor also mentioned that if you asked him his side of the story, he would say that he would beat other Igor one on one. Did he ever challenge you to any one on ones? And if so, who came out on top?
I've played basketball with him every week this summer. So he, me and him were usually we were usually teammates, and I would give Igor Afanasyev the edge over Larry,
Oh, interest,
100%,
definitely
100%,
interest. Yeah.
any day of the year.
Okay, so I'll definitely have to keep that in mind. Now your teammate Michael Hakkarainen also reached out to me and said that he was your chauffeur to the rink in Muskegon. How did those car rides go, and was he a good driver?
Well, I couldn't talk much. I just had to listen. Um, he I don't know if he enjoyed driving or anything, but he always picked me out. He was a nice kid, a great guy. We had a lot of fun together. But it's like, yeah, I couldn't pick my music. I had to listen to what he was the boss of the car, obviously. If I
Now
put it
what?
that way.
Yeah. So what music was he making you listen to then?
Everything. But actually, one song I really like, I think was Young God from Russ, from the artist Russ, I think.
Rick
And I think
Ross.
Russ, yeah, I think that was just our game song. And then I think it was ASAP Ferg. Well, I don't know what the song is called. It was like with the chain. I don't know what it was called, but he was playing every single game day.
No, no, of course. And he also mentioned that you had your own raps and that you sang a lot of Eminem songs. What would you say is your top three for Eminem songs?
My top three for Eminem songs. Oh, top three. It really depends on my mood because I like a lot of them. Um, I also like a lot of his underrated songs, I would say, like Underground or Superman. Um, if I would have to pick top three, like overall though, I would have to go with obviously Lose Yourself.
Yep.
That has to be there.
Hmm.
Uh, Probably would go for Not Afraid, and then
Classic.
yes, and then another classic. Maybe out. It's probably not No Toy Soldiers. I wouldn't put that one there. Um, Either When I'm Gone,
It's another good one.
yeah, or Mockingbird maybe.
Mhm. Now, before we get back to those three, what about his most recent album that came out pre-pandemic last year? Especially like God, I'm a fan of the song Godzilla with the late Juice World.
Godzilla's great. I enjoy that one. I don't know if it was in this one or the previous one. I enjoy this song. I really like it to play it till now. Stepdad. I don't know if you heard that one.
I think I have, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then the other songs I honestly
Mm.
didn't really feel it. Honestly.
Yeah. Now, so for the listeners and viewers on YouTube, Matej performed also at Igor's 22nd birthday party. He performed "Lose Yourself," which you had to be there. It was a very fun performance to take in. Now, like I said, your top three Eminem songs. Would you do the listeners and viewers a favor and rap a verse, a 10-second, 15-second verse of each?
Holy, I mean, sure. What was the first one you wanted me to do?
Lose Yourself, the one you sang at the party. Like you could do the opening.
What do you mean?
Like you
I
know
don't
the
remember the. Oh, I don't remember the opening.
or you just do any verse of it.
I mean, it's like the beginning, I guess. I mean, his poems, sweaty knees, sweet arms so heavy. There was a mom on a sweater, mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface, he looks calm and ready. He dropped bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down a whole crowd. Oh, so loud. You know how it
Yeah,
is. You were there.
perfect.
You were there.
Yep. Oh, it was very fun. He killed it. He did a great job. Now,
I
not a
showed the video. I showed the video actually to our equipment managers like 2 days ago, I think, and they were like, "Oh my god, you're dressed like a hoodlum." I was like, "What is hoodlum?" And they're like a criminal. I'm like, "Okay." Do rags and like, I mean, I
oh
had
my
to
god.
do rags like those clothes that I wore like
Yeah.
Eminem in like
No, it was great.
1990s. Yeah,
Yeah, it was great.
and your
Now,
shoes on.
yeah, no, he borrowed a pair of Air Force Ones, and yeah, he just totally looked the part. It was awesome. So, not afraid. Let's see your not afraid verse.
Oh my god, I don't think I know the
If you want
15 seconds straight. Honestly,
if you want to look up, you can look up the lyrics real quick. Yeah, you can look up the lyrics, or at least I could look. Like I know
I
some.
can look at my phone if you want. I mean,
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, you should look up the lyrics of Not
like,
Afraid.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to take a stand. It's better. And then there's like a rap part. Like, you can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I land. But we won't take a sting out these words before I say them, because ain't no way I'm gonna let you stop and cause a man. And when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do. Dude, I can't do this song. I should have can. There's word twisting, no chance.
Okay, no, that's no, that's good. That's more than good enough. But yeah, Matej's version of "Lose Yourself" was an instant classic. And for those of you that wanted to see it, you just had to be there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh
But
yeah.
obviously, like we were talking about, you did have a very successful draft year. When did you get invited to the combine? And if so, what was that experience like?
I got invited. It was fun. I tried to do my best there. I've been told that I still have lots of room to grow and improve, be strong and everything. Which obviously I kind of somehow knew. When I saw the big boys first rounders there, I'm like, okay, like you don't look like you're 18 years old right now. You look like you're
Mhm.
25, like you're 18, you're in a 30-year-old body, like you're strong and everything, right? So I just have to keep working. Like everybody knew that it's gonna be a long route with me, so just trying to stay with it.
Yeah, and so obviously the combine is not just testing; it's also interviews. with the testing, which test was your least favorite?
Um, Probably one of the bikes.
Hmm.
It just did not taste good.
Yeah, that's the common answer for prospects. Their least favorite's the VO2 max,
Yeah,
especially when they have you hooked up to it.
yeah.
And now going to the interview part, what teams did you talk to other than Buffalo? And were there any questions that kind of caught you off guard?
Um, I think it was like 13 teams. I think I've talked there. Um, and any questions? Honestly, everything was pretty much like normal. Like regular
Mhm.
questions. Some teams had like specific questions, like not specific, like psychological questions. They would like give me a picture. I think it was Washington or someone that would give me like a picture of the bus, like on both sides, and tell me if they're the same or different. And they were different in some way. Until this day, I don't know, understand how they were different. Couldn't figure it out. So lots of like psychological stuff like that from some teams, but some teams were just pretty chill. They just literally talk like, "What's up, man? How's been summer? What you do there? What you do? How's your season? Where you play? What you like to play? Who's your favorite team?" And stuff like that.
Mhm. No, I understand that. So did you actually meet with, I think it was Tampa at the time, did you meet with Steve Eiserman? Did he grill you about any weed questions like he grilled Kirby Doc?
Really? I don't even know about
No, he
that.
did, yeah. So Kirby Doc went on Spittin' Chicklets and he mentioned how, I guess Steve Eiserman asked him like, "Oh, did you smoke weed?" Or just kind of ask him a question like that. So I was just wondering if you met with Tampa and
I
met with
don't.
Steve
I,
Eiserman.
I I'm pretty sure I had Tampa, but I don't think Steve Eiserman. Or maybe I didn't meet with Tampa. Honestly, I don't remember if I'm being honest.
No, you're good. So
I don't know honestly.
no, you're good. So obviously leading after the combines, the draft, when did you find out that you were actually going to be going to the draft in Dallas? Because there are prospects that don't go to the draft because they don't think they're going to get drafted and obviously waste all that money going.
Yeah.
So when did you first think, "Hey, I'm actually going to go"?
Um, I think it was the idea of Roman. You know Roman.
Yep.
Um, my conditioning coach, the guy I stayed with for you know X amount of years in
Yep.
Detroit. And his brother was in town, and he like wanted to go there with his friend from England. He's also a Czech guy, but lives in England. Came and I had two more friends from Czech that flew to train with me, so we all like took a trip, went there, drove there, had a great time, absolute blast down in Dallas. And couldn't ask for a better time honestly there.
Yeah, of course. And so obviously you were there on day 2 and you hear your name called. What did that feel like and how excited were you to be
I mean,
finally
it
drafted?
felt great. I mean, there's no such feeling as that is in the whole world for me. But I knew it was not gonna be hard, easy route just because I got trapped. Like, look at me now. I mean, um, I'm in the A, but nothing's guaranteed. Players come in, come out. It's tough. Especially here in North America where you have so many players, so many great players. They can take your spot anytime. So just trying to do best I can.
Of course. And so obviously you then get to Buffalo for the development camp. What was your first impression of the city and the organization?
I really like the facility and people. Like, great. Obviously, there's different people right now. I like them all again, but um the facility and what they provide us and everything is obviously amazing. Like, I never seen better, so I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, the Harbor Center is a very nice facility.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. So your first development camp, you're playing 3-on-3. You got under the skin of a player or two, and it turns out you get the puck and first overall pick in that same draft, Rasmus Dahlin ends up just cleaning your clock, just knocks you down. Take us through what led up to that moment because that hit went pretty viral, as you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would honestly say it went viral because it was him. Nothing else led to that or anything I would say really, but it's just he caught me off guard. I did not see much. I tried to toe drag him. Obviously, it ended up how it ended up, but I mean, on the other side, bad commercial is still a commercial for me, or bad advertisement is still advertisement for me. I mean, I just took it as a joke. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, of course, hitting's part of the game, and obviously it's going to happen. So, what was it like competing against someone like that, especially someone who went that high in the draft and was highly touted, especially in the same draft class?
Yeah, the guy's insane. I remember we would do like stick handling drills, and I'd be with 2 pucks or 3 pucks, and I'd be chasing puck from one side to the other and going, like not knowing what to do, and the guy's just like, just like it's nothing for him. Like he could be doing toe checks with 2, 3 pucks, like it's nothing. And it's again between him while going forward, backwards. Like I was like, damn, like damn.
Yeah, Darlene, yeah, he's a very impressive defenseman, especially how he played in the World Juniors and
Oh yeah,
obviously in his short time in Buffalo so far. Now, also, I thought was interesting was you actually ended up playing at the World Juniors I think it was the following 2 years, and
yeah.
luckily you did it in your home country in the Czech Republic. What led up to obviously the camp and making the team in Czech?
Well, I was very fortunate to play in Vancouver year before that. Um, I know like I was on the edge of making the team there, and then I made the team again for like you said in
Mhm.
in Ostrava in Czech Republic and playing in front of the home fans. It was great. I loved every second of it. Just unfortunately, both times we didn't get the result we wanted because obviously winning that tournament would be something to absolutely never forget and remember for a lifetime. So
Yeah, of course, and
unfortunately,
yeah, so one of the other games that was interesting in that tournament was you guys playing against the Americans and against friend of the program, really good friends with Igor the second is Arthur Kaliev, and
yeah.
obviously he sniped one that game. What was your memory of playing against him in that game? Obviously, now that you're a little closer with him.
I mean, the guy just shoots. I mean, the guy's just so good of finding the soft spots and picking a pocket every time he shoots the puck. His scoring ability is just insane. Obviously everyone says he's not as a good skater and everything like that, but I played against him in the O. I played against him a couple of times against USA, as you said, and the guy can put the puck in the net, and if you can outscore your opponent, you're gonna win every time, and the guy can do that.
Yeah, of course, and Bike is it's interesting because there'll be games where he's kind of like a snake in the grass.
Yeah,
He won't be noticed, but
no,
then he'll
yeah,
get his one
exactly.
chance and he'll score, kind of like what happened against Finland this past World Junior. And obviously, I think what's cool about the one in Ostrava was that was the last World Junior, and that was some of the last sporting events where there were full crowds. How much
Yeah,
energy did the home crowd provide you guys each game?
like so much. The fans in Europe, especially when you have sections and everything. It was unbelievable. It was insane when we beat the Russians, I believe, and 4-3, and everyone just started jumping and yelling the same thing. Like it was absolutely electric, honestly.
Yeah, of course. And speaking of that Russian team, their assistant coach was Hall of Famer Igor Larionov,
Yeah.
who you've had the good fortune of meeting. How tough was that Russian team to play against, especially at least me knowing him as long as I have, his fingerprints were impacted on that game, especially with the style of play that they had.
Yeah, they were a great team. They went to the finals, I believe, that year. I thought they were gonna take it all, to be honest. Um, really, really good team, obviously led by him, so it adds up to that even more. So they were hard, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we've seen him make the transition of being the head coach of Team
Mhm.
Russia. And so also you ended up going from the USHL to the OHL. Now, when you were in the USHL, were you committed to any D1 school? And if you were, what led
Twice,
you then twice?
yeah.
So what happened there, and what led you to obviously go in major junior?
I was committed for one guy, Peter Menino. He always repeated to me. He loved me as a player, so I just always went with him. I committed to Omaha, Nebraska, and then he went to Miami, Ohio.
Mm.
I committed there, and then after the draft, like me and my agent and my parents talk, and I got a really good offer from Mary that I'd still have like the education backup plan and everything, and we thought, the team was unfortunate, was coached unfortunately by passing away, already passed away now, but Hall of Famer Dale Hawerchuk. He was great, and I remember first time meeting him, he was like, "Well, if you want to be a doctor, go to college. If you want to be a hockey player, come here. Like you're gonna get tons of ice. You're gonna develop as much as you can as a player." And he was a huge believer of basically letting us play. And if we get scored on 4 times, we better put five on the board, and that's how I play. I loved it. It was awesome. Just sad he unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, that was tough news in the hockey community.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction to the sad news, and how'd you find out?
My roommate, my ex-roommate now, obviously texted me from there that it happened, and I had no words. I was like, no way. Like this is the guy who brought me to the NHL, not the NHL, the OHL, to the OHL, and he was one of the main reasons why I went to Barrie at first place. Like, he let me play. He showed me the way, and I learned a lot from him.
Yeah, of course, he was a tremendous hockey mind and a great player in his day, and he will be tremendously missed. And so obviously then you went to Sudbury, and a player I wanted to bring up, or two players I wanted to bring up in Sudbury that you played with. The first was actually a former teammate of mine in Costa Manicas. What was it like playing with this guy? Because he like, well, at least my short time with him, it was a blast playing with him. He's a very funny guy, and
Yeah, he is.
yeah, I just enjoyed it. So what did you think of Maniques?
He was great. He's great. I was hoping for all these guys, uh, to get the year of in the OHL. He was, like I said, he was a great player. He was getting better and better. Like he made huge jumps this year when I was there, at least. It was huge for us. It just sucked that we couldn't go into the playoffs, because I thought in Sudbury our team was just really, really really good to make a huge run for the playoffs, and I felt great with the group, and unfortunately COVID cut it off. So I'm still waiting for my first playoff game.
Yeah, that was tough for a lot of people with COVID hitting. And yeah, with Manique's, what's funny is that I remember we were actually at the Harbor Center for the OJHL showcase where it's hosted, and we played our first game. We lost 3-1. We lost to Whitby, and our coach comes in and says, "Hey, Manique, someone wants to talk to you outside." And he's like, "Who is it?" And they're like, "NHL Central Scouting," and we were all just like, "Whoa!" Like it was just crazy. But yeah, he does have a lot of high end talent, and I do feel for him that he didn't get to play this year. And obviously, for anyone listening, when you hear the name Sudbury Wolves, the second is Quentin Byfield. In your short time with him, what was this guy like, and were you surprised to see him go as high as he did in the draft?
I was not surprised, honestly, and I played with him on the line for most of the year, so it was really, really good to play with him. He sees the ice; he's huge. He can score. He knows how to play the game. He's great at hockey. Obviously, everyone knows that. It's it is what it is. But he I love playing with him. He helped me a lot. He helped me a lot. I thought we were good with each other on the line. And as I said, it's a shame that COVID cut everything out, because I really thought that in Sudbury we had the pieces. I thought we had a really good playoff team. I thought we could outscore or outdefend the opponents. Like I was excited for me going that team for a run and everything like that, and COVID, fortunate.
Yeah, it's too bad. And so speaking of COVID, obviously a lot of people spent a lot of time inside. What were some movies and TV shows that you enjoyed while staying safe inside?
Um,
We can start with TV shows.
does it mean like a TV show like a Netflix?
Yeah, anything. So Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus,
Oh,
HBO
okay, yeah.
Max, everything. Yeah.
I remember. I gotta think. because I had a girlfriend that time. You know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I think it was we were watching too. I think it was Money Heist. Yeah, Money Heist,
Mhm.
and a little bit of Office and 90 Day Fiance.
90 Day, yeah, classic 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, and then after I think after we split up, I was watching one show by myself. And I was really into it. That's so funny because I was really because it was a Spanish show too. Oh, Narcos.
Narcos,
Narcos.
yep,
That's what it was. Narcos.
classic.
The second one was Narcos Mexico, and then I watched the full on El Chapo. Yeah, that's what it was.
So
Narcos.
so you were just fully immersed in the cartel shows, eh?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I was like, damn, like these guys live their life. If I like live in life, like they have so much money and everything. Like obviously, it's not nearly as great as they make it seem. But wow, yeah.
Yeah, so another kind of show that deals a little bit with that I watched, I'm wondering if you did, was Ozark. I ended up catching up on Ozark. It's a good show. I mean, some people have actually, for some reasons, have compared it or said it's better than Breaking Bad. I highly disagree with that. I think Breaking Bad is superior, especially how good Bryan Cranston is. But some people are
Yeah.
going to think that. And I mentioned this last pod, but another show that I got sucked into watching was Tiger King. So,
Oh,
yeah,
Tiger King. Yes, that I watched that too. Actually, what a show! What a show!
that was crazy. I mean, especially in
It
everything that
was insane.
happened.
Honestly, it was actually insane.
Yeah, I
Like
feel like
I
no,
it,
yeah. There's no words. There's no words. You can. It's honestly like you could think of one crazy moment, but it's like you could say that about pretty much everything that happened
every
in the show.
episode, everything. It was.
Everything. Yeah.
I was like, no way.
Everything. And then obviously around this time, because I saw ESPN posted about it, The Last Dance was huge,
I
especially
haven't
giving.
seen that one.
So you haven't. Wait, you actually haven't seen it?
Nah.
Okay, so Last Dance is on Netflix now. So yeah, literally like last year at this time, they released 2 episodes of the Michael Jordan Bulls documentary a week. And
Oh,
during this time when there was no sports going on, nothing to do, this actually gave people, especially like even like me, gave us something to look forward to on a weekly basis. Like it was great. It was really good. And obviously it gave us a glimpse into how competitive Michael Jordan was,
mhm.
and I just admire how driven he was. Now people could say, "Oh, he was a tyrant," or "Oh, he was this," or "Oh, he was that," but at the end of the day, like you said, he cared about winning, and
Tyrant?
a tyrant, like someone who's basically like kind of a ruler, someone who's ruthless. But
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
they thought he was ruthless at the top, but he wanted his teammates to be there with him. So I
Exactly.
thought I thought he pushed them in the right direction, and obviously, I don't know if we'll ever see a dynasty kind of like that with the Chicago Bulls of the 90s. I mean, they won 6 titles in 10 years. That's incredible in and of itself. And
That's
so
insane. Yeah.
it's unbelievable. And so what movies did you watch also? And are there any did you that were Czech that you watched?
I watched um I watched the movie Bodied, which is a YouTube movie produced by Eminem. It's all
Mhm.
rap battles. I watched that actually a couple times. And then I don't like really watch the movies, honestly. I'd rather try to be doing something outside, playing ball or something like that, you know. Um, but I think I'm trying to think for you, but there was maybe like 2 to 3, 4 movies I watched. Like honestly,
No, no, you're all good. I mean,
nothing like yeah. The only one I could think of is really Bodied, and then other movies didn't really. It's more of a show guy. I'm more of a show guy. Depends on what movie. I watched some horror movies like Annabelle, the new one that came out,
Mhm.
but nothing special. Yeah.
No, I got you. I mean, I actually do think it's pretty good of you to say that you wanted to actually stay active and be outside, especially while being cooped instead of being cooped up in the house.
Yeah.
I will say some other movies that I remember watching. Obviously, Igor recommended this last episode, but Ready or Not was a very good movie. Kind of scary. It's basically about this girl who gets married, and the family that she marries into, they kind of have a sick family tradition where
Mhm.
they play a game with the wife, that with the new bride. That's all I'll really say because it's very interesting. And then one I mentioned about favorite movie scene last episode was, this is a movie from the 80s, Naked Gun, Files from the Police Squad. Funny thing is, it actually stars O.J. Simpson.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it stars O.J. Simpson and Leslie Mann. This movie's hilarious. I watched it with my mom. We were pissing ourselves laughing. Just some of the slapstick. Like, there's a scene where he gets out of the car, like the airbags go off. Like, the airbags go off in the car. He gets out, and the airbag goes onto the gear shift, so it turns it from park to drive, and it's just barreling down this hill. Everyone's like shooting at it, and he's like, "Hey, did you get a look at that guy?" Like, it's just so funny in that aspect. It's just, honestly, it's insane. Now another thing that I wanted to a little game I wanted to play is a little Marry F Kill. Now, obviously, it's basically like which you love, like, and which one you're going to discard. We're going to do rappers, obviously, since you're big into the rap game. So I'm going to go kind of like past, present, future. So we're going to go Eminem, Biggie Smalls, and then we're going to go Young Thug.
So what do I say?
So you're going to say which one, obviously, like, which one you like. Marry F Kill is marry. It's the one you love, like the one you have to have. Love the most. Fuck, or sorry, F is basically it's the one that you like. It's not your favorite. You're not gonna like prioritize keeping, and then kill is basically the one you can just discard.
Okay, so I love the most, like, don't like.
Yep.
I bet.
So let's hear which ones you got.
Oh, for Eminem one?
Yeah,
Oh,
so repeat them. It's Eminem, Biggie,
Biggie, and Young Thug.
Yep.
Easy.
And it's in that order, right? Marry F Kill.
Oh, yes. Easy.
Yep. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. I mean, I do love me some Biggie Smalls, especially. I love it when you call me Big Papa, and obviously Hypnotize. There's a lot of great Biggie songs, but I would have to say Eminem, especially. What's crazy about him is, Eminem, like, people. It's just funny when Gen Z tries to cancel him, and it's like, do you realize who you're dealing with? If this guy wasn't getting canceled back in the 90s and early 2000s for the stuff he was saying, you're not going to do it now.
Yeah.
It's comical. And so now we're actually going to move into the fan submitted question part of the episode. I appreciate each and every one of you that submitted questions for this episode. The first one from someone who's familiar with us, Lawrence Miller, says, "How you get to space?"
On Chevy tracks, Lawrence. On Chevy tracks.
There you go. Alex Bedenko says, "Who is the hardest coach you ever played for, and why?"
Harry Sami.
Mm-hmm.
It might have either been the Sudbury coach or Coach Stillman. He's with Arizona right now. Great coach. Loved him. But he was just so hard on me. But when he was hard on me, I knew he cared. And obviously, at any pro level, like Czech or here, the coaches are tough on players because it's a pro. It's our jobs, and we gotta be 110% everything we do. So, but if I have to take it like for full season, definitely Coach Stillman. He great coach. Like, he taught me so much. That's the reason why he's in Arizona right now. Obviously, great player, over 1,000 games in the NHL. So.
Of course. Next question from yours truly, Igor II. What's your favorite book?
Book? Me?
Yes, book. Yeah, you.
Oh, he knew I don't read though. He knew how to. He knew how to be reading like that. Oh man. Book?
Or at least the last one you read. That might be a while back, but what's the last one you read?
I don't remember, like, what I read in like 5th grade, dog.
And what was that?
I don't know. Wait, favorite book? Oh boy, I don't think I ever finished the book, to be honest. Bruh.
I guess.
I like To Kill a Mockingbird, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
I read that in book. I read that in school.
No, it's classic. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mind. Odyssey.
Yep, it's the Odyssey
I
by
never finished
Homer.
it. I just like saw the stories there, honestly,
Mhm.
when I read it in normal English, not in the,
Yep,
you
not in
know,
the
that,
native language. Yeah.
yes, bro. Um, and then that's probably it, honestly.
No, it's
That's
perfect.
all I have for
No,
first
no,
impressions.
no, it's good. You did a good job there. So Igor also asks, "What's your go-to pickup line?"
Ever been to space?
There you go. It's
I
classic.
mean, you already know how it is. I
I
mean,
know, I do.
it
Yeah.
rarely works. Igor already planning something.
Yep. Especially when you
Some
come to LA. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Igor also asks, and I like this question. So, if you had to pick three people to be with you on an island, who are those three people?
Oh boy, he got some good questions, man.
He did. Yeah.
He's got those professor genes in him.
He did, man. Yeah, he's very smart.
Well, he is one of the most intelligent people like my age I met.
Yep. Hmm.
I would have to take him because he would be the guy that would get me out of there as soon as he could.
Absolutely.
Um, then I would need someone to keep me funny and everything. That would be probably Igor Afanasyev,
Great choice.
and then I would need somebody to keep me in check, and that would be probably my good buddy from Czech, Gabriel Koa. I used to live with him for 3 years, and he's the guy who he kind of like played hockey, but like he was more of a, like a career school guy. You know, he's huge in stocks and learned everything by himself. Never went to college, but super smart guy. And the guy would be like, "No, you're not taking the day off. You're going to do this. You're going to shoot pucks. What? You're not shooting pucks today? Oh, you are. You are like he would keep me in check. Like these three, I feel like would be a great combo.
Yeah, those three very interesting people to choose. I'm surprised you didn't choose your trainer, Roman, obviously, especially someone to keep you in shape while you're on the island, but it is what it is.
I mean, when I'm on the island, that's the last thing I'm probably thinking of is hockey. I'm thinking about getting out of there first
Yeah.
or surviving.
No. That's very true. I agree. Now, so another question that was interesting was, would you say you're like simp or pimp?
Who asked that?
Oh, just someone who follows me.
Oh, okay. I mean, probably pimp.
I would expect nothing less. Another great question from a soccer rival of yours, Marcus Gretz. Who are the most dangerous players on the Red Devils?
Myself.
No, not you. You're not on the Red Devils.
Oh yeah.
No, on Team Red. Yeah, who are the most dangerous players on Team Red?
UPK.
Thanks, man. I mean, just doing my thing as a defensive midfielder. I would say Igor the second would be. I mean, he's the leading scorer, and then obviously, as you witnessed,
Oh, I
Gretz
thought you meant like. Oh, okay. Yeah,
like
yeah.
dangerous, like yeah,
Obviously
offensive.
Igor.
Yep.
Yeah, Igor, obviously, but
Would you say
overall
Gretz
UPK.
too? Gretz too? I mean, he
When he's on his
scored.
A game, when he's on the A game, he can be. Especially when I was like in the net, I think he scored on me every time he would play against me. Like he always like somehow curved his boot and just would. I don't know.
Yeah, and
We're gonna run soccer in LA somehow, right? With some
oh,
people.
we will. No, we will. And for those that are listening and watching, Gretz, who plays for Flint in the OHL, he kicked the ball basically from the end line in soccer all the way on net, and he actually scored. He basically booted it from all the way down the field and scored. It was insane. And honestly, the funniest part was that we had no visual of it, like no one recorded it, which is a missed opportunity because we would have been playing that, all the time. So
Yeah.
another question that's interesting is, would you consider yourself an ally to the LGBTQ plus community? Which
What is it?
so would you consider yourself an ally to the gay community, basically? Like an ally, like someone who supports that community, someone who like something like that, like someone who's there for that community.
Uh, Honestly, like I never have problems with them or anything. I don't really honestly think about it like that. Um, to be honest, I never really paid attention to this kind of stuff. If I'm being totally upfront with you,
No, it's fine.
I'm not against it. Obviously, people can be whoever they want. It's just I never really paid attention to stuff like this. Maybe it's wrong, maybe it's not. I don't know. But that's just how I'm, I guess.
No, you're good. I think that us people who aren't really victimized or aren't grouped kind of how they are, I think that we need to support them, and at least in the fact that there are people that are getting killed because they're gay, and there are people that are getting harmed because of it, which isn't right, obviously, because they're just being who
Yeah,
they are. I think it's healthier if they're who they are than them trying to hide it and be in the closet, because that's just not good mentally. So I think
hundred
that
percent.
coming out's way better that way. And
I know it just like depends on the culture, really. Like, for example, I know, um, and if you go down south to Mexico, let's say they're gonna be way less appreciative of them coming out because rather they would not know. At least that's what I know from my friends, from to my knowledge, than let's say in people like in New York,
yeah, of course. What are your thoughts on the college admissions scandal?
College what?
Oh, there basically the college admission scandal was, there was this lady who basically cheated the system to and paid money under the table kind of thing to get her kid to go to the school that get her kid to go to the school that she wanted to.
I feel like it happens everywhere. Honestly, it's if you look at it, it's you got all these rich parents that get their kids to school as long as they're donors. I don't think it's anything new. Um, it is what it is. Like I seen it with my own eyes. I know who, but to me, it's everyday thing, especially in America, and everywhere in the world. If you have money and you want to become a donor, your kid's going to be accepted usually.
Yeah, of course. So another interesting question I'm going to say was, do you think Donald Trump was right when he said to grab her by the pussy? Or no?
What do you want to say to that? I don't even know when he said it. Honestly, I heard he said it. I don't know when it was, in what context or anything. I don't know anything about that. Um, I know people say stuff like that all the time behind closed doors. It just happened to be him behind closed doors. He's a president, so it depends how you look at it. I mean, we can be really too sensitive about it, I would say, because I don't know if I really have an opinion on that because that stuff didn't never really mattered to me because it was like I said, it wasn't like he wanted to say or stuff like that because I've been around millions of girls and guys that would say stuff like this. So I mean, it's I would say just we can't be too sensitive about it just because he's a president, he's a human too, and like I said, I didn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah, and so to preface that clip that people are talking about, that was actually way back. That was before he was even considering running for president. That was just him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was him during his, like, when he was just a regular billionaire real estate guy. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I think that's obviously a good answer. And then another interesting question is, do you believe that religion should be a mandatory class that is taught in American schools, or no?
I'm looking at the church right out the window right now. Um, I wouldn't say so. I don't think it should. I think you maybe should have general knowledge. I don't. I think and even in school, like you don't have to have a class on it, but you can know stuff about it. Um, I know like subjects, especially in when I was in Czech, let's say in geography, geography, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Um, Geography or whatever it is called.
Geography, yeah, geography.
Yeah, geography. Yeah. Um, we would since like fourth or fifth grade we had that class. We go over basically most of the countries in the whole world, and you are learn what religion there is and how the religion goes, and you can get the general knowledge of teaching it around, I could say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, religion's obviously a big part of a lot of people's lives, but
100%.
there are kids that grow up in houses at least where their parents are atheists and don't really believe in religion, and that's totally
Like
okay
mine, yeah.
too. Yeah,
Like
it's
mine,
totally
yeah.
yeah, that's totally okay. And I think if kids and people want to actually be religious and seek that religion, then I think that they will outside of school and on their own time, and that's totally okay if they want to practice religion that way. Obviously, it's good to be aware of the different religions out there if they want to pick and choose that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, another interesting question is, what are your thoughts on the global climate change and what can politicians do to help out with that and to stop it?
Um, I really like these questions, not gonna lie. I really
Mhm.
do. But if I'm talking about climate,
Yeah, the climate change. Yep.
um, to be honest, I'm not educated at all on that topic. That's like one thing I'm never absolutely never paid attention to. Um, I think the way it looks to me from news and media and all these melting great glaciers and everything, it's a real thing. The solution, I don't know. I personally have absolutely no idea what the solution should be. Um,
I
I'm
appreciate
very
your
very off on that, honestly, on that
no,
topic.
you're good. I appreciate your honesty in saying that. I think that there are certain people out there that believe climate change is a hoax, and I personally don't agree with that. There's
Yeah,
way too much evidence in favor
yeah,
of it being a thing, and I think one thing that we can do at least is obviously we need to reduce the carbon footprint, and you see companies like Amazon are doing a very good job of that. Obviously, they're promising, I think in 20 some years or something like that, that we're going to be a net carbon zero, which I think anything that we can do to cut back on emissions and help our planet is great, especially electric cars are becoming a big thing. Like with Tesla and all these other brands like Audi and all these companies are developing electric cars, which is great. So that's what I think, but there's a lot that needs to be done.
like for me, like all these, you can change your lifestyle for a climate, basically your whole full on lifestyle. Like if you're a guy who travels and drives a car so much back and forth and long distances, you're not having a Tesla.
Yeah,
'Cause it just takes time to charge, and it's not gonna get you from here to there if it's over X amount of miles and stuff like that. So um that thing needs to be figured out first before we can even talk about, but I think cars like Tesla and everything, they're definitely a huge step forward.
yeah. And so what I will counter that point is the fact that with Tesla, like for example, you can drive from New York City to Boston, which is over 300 some miles without having to charge again, without having to
Yeah,
stop. So I think the range that Tesla cars have is astronomical. And I just think with electric cars, it's less fossil fuel, which obviously gas is fossil fuel. It's less fossil fuel that's being burned and have
yeah,
to be dug. So I think that's just great for the environment with the electric cars. It's not like it's solar
it
powered
is.
where
It is. Yeah.
yeah, so I think that's definitely a key there. Another question that's very interesting to me is what do you think is the best way to end the war on drugs and the opioid crisis here in America?
War on trucks, and what was the second one? Sorry, you lied.
The second one is the opioid crisis, like
Oh,
the painkillers. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, I never thought even about that. The war on drugs. Well, number one, close the border. Close, especially the southern border to illegal immigrants. I think it's borders are there for a reason. Um, the drugs are coming into states. You mean in America, not in the world, right?
No,
In
in
America.
America. Yeah, in America.
I think like we're how America gets drugs from down south. Where it's made and distributed and sent shipped across the border to LA, some cities in Texas, and they distribute it, to the cities, to everywhere. So I think the way it's going here is through illegal immigration. Um, I think that's a problem that's America facing, especially right now. I'm a foreigner as well. I know it's very hard for the families that live a poor lifestyle in a third world countries down south. I know it's tough, and it's not easy. I think there should be some solution fine in the middle, possibly. Because obviously not all illegal immigrants are bad. Most of them aren't. Most of them aren't. Um, but they're at least, I think that's just the world it is there right now, that borders are there for a reason. If there wouldn't be borders, there wouldn't be no order, I would say.
Hmm.
And half of the world would probably be unpopulated, and half of the world would be overpopulated. Um, it's tough, but I think the stop, figure out the southern border. That's number one thing. And what do you think?
I think that's an interesting point with the border. I think the main thing to stop the war on drugs is, I think one of the ways is anyone who's been in jail for marijuana needs to be released. Especially marijuana is becoming more and more legal across states here, and the fact that there are some people that have served like obviously almost life sentences or things of that magnitude because of marijuana or dealing marijuana, I think is silly. So I think those people need to be released. And I think for the war on drugs, I do think that there needs to be an effort to obviously legalize certain drugs, but also kind of ease up those restrictions and ease up the punishment of some of those people. And then obviously with opioids is kind of tough because
Yeah, yeah,
painkillers
I didn't
are,
even touch on that. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, no, you're good. Painkillers are just so addictive that
Yeah,
it's almost like once you get hooked on opioids, it's tough. So I think one thing, honestly, with surgeries or with other things like medical needs, that they should move away from opioids and find a different solution for pain management so that these people, once their medical use of it is done, that they just keep coming back to it. So I think that's a thing that needs to be done.
yeah. I mean, I with the marijuana thing, like, sometimes it affects your brain a little bit, and you probably shouldn't be doing it while you're driving and stuff like that.
Of course,
So it's alcohol is a drug too, after all. So
caffeine's a drug too,
same
technically.
thing, yeah. Um, but yeah, my that's my thing. Like, drugs have always, I think, came to states through South. No matter how, but that's just the way it was. Usually made cocaine was made in Colombia, and then distributed up more north and more north, and weed was, I think, Mexican mostly.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
and Honduras and all these countries. Yeah,
yeah. So another interesting question is what was your first impression of the host of this podcast?
great, great. I like it actually.
Thank you. No, I was asking what. Sorry, I was asking. Someone asked, "What was your first impression of me?" Basically, like when you
Oh,
first met me, what was your first impression?
oh, when did we meet?
So I believe the first time we met was actually we. So we
Soccer.
yeah, no. So we found out that in our group chat that for summer hockey, like for summer league, that Matej was.
Oh yeah. And
So
you joined?
so
Oh,
I was in town for the 2 weeks, and I'll let Matej continue the rest.
oh yeah, and then I think we met on the parking lot, and you were wearing these sick Jordans, and I was
Thank
like,
you.
we were having this party, dude. I have to have those for Eminem performance, like these sick. Like it wasn't like regular Air Force. It was like red, orange, white, blue.
Blue. Yep.
I was like, dude, this guy's dripping hard, man. This guy's dripping. And I think we lost the game somehow, and
Mhm.
it was lots of fun. And then we started hanging out. It was good, good time, good time. It's just I hope the group gets together again this summer somehow for some soccer games. I hope the engineers will be down, and we'll see. Do you know if they would be down to go to LA to play soccer there for 4 days or so?
Those guys, that's going to be tough. We'll have to circle back with them. They're still going to be in school at some point, being engineers, and obviously that the rigors of that schooling. But
Yeah.
I mean, it could be later on. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. But what's also funny is Matej. Like obviously, we invited him out for that first game, and Matej had this great ability of just getting along with everyone, and he stuck around. He was able to stick around with the group, and we didn't push him away. We were like, yeah, you're funny. You're great. So
And I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
we'll keep you around. Now his GM skills on the pitch, that's something else. It's a little lackluster, but everyone needs to work on something.
True. My dad actually told me today that I could make a good coach one day. I'm like, thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Think about it one day.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Pekar. But yeah, shout out, yeah. But yeah, it was obviously a lot of fun playing soccer, and just it's a good way of
100%.
just staying active and not, obviously not having to run on the treadmill. Like you run 3-4 miles, but
Exactly.
also
Yeah.
have a good time and things like
Especially
that.
when Kenzie started showing up, and we could put her in the net and stuff like that. She will be definitely down to play again. She's a good
Oh, for
goalie.
sure.
So
Absolutely.
I still keep in touch with her a little bit. So she I'll probably see her in Detroit, and definitely tell her to come out for soccer.
Of course. No, absolutely. And obviously you were at Igor's 22nd birthday party. What was that experience like? And obviously
I loved it.
I know you had
It
a
was
fun
so much
time.
fun. It was so much fun. It was so different than I'm used to. I really enjoyed it. You know, it was great. It was honestly great. I met the director of the Russian family, and talking to him was absolutely amazing. Had a long talk with Lawrence. And lots of mature people, and lots of knowledge gained in that party.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very fun night. It was very unique. At least the best birthday party I've actually ever been to. I haven't been to
Mhm.
anything quite like that. And something I actually told Igor the second that I'll say to you is this is actually not the first time I interviewed you. I interviewed you also on the red carpet of his party. How do you think that first interview went?
It was awesome. It was so much fun. It was funny. It was so funny. I think my outfit could have been better. I don't think the gray really goes good with my eyes. Nah, I'm tripping, but it's fun. It's fun. I just picked a suit that first I saw in the store. I didn't really care as long as it was a suit, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. It was definitely a good time. I didn't
Yeah,
think you looked that bad out there. Obviously, you didn't
thank
win
you.
worse dressed, so I think that was obviously key to that aspect. But yeah, it was very enjoyable, and it was you cherish those nights with good people, and it's just very enjoyable.
Especially for us hockey players, where we don't see each other for sometimes years. So we appreciate every social activity.
Yeah, of course, and that's what Igor also mentioned last interview was normally around his birthday, which his birthday is late August. That's when guys that are playing at college or go to college, go to school, guys that are playing junior, especially in the OHL, that's when training camp is. So because of the circumstances around COVID, we were all able to gather there. And like he said, I'm gonna have to mention this. We were all COVID safe. We all had negative tests. So we weren't irresponsible by having a party with a good amount of people. So that safety was obviously at the forefront.
Yes.
You got to cover all those bases. and yeah, it's like you never know when you're gonna see some of these guys. So it was very enjoyable in that aspect. And obviously, Matej, what was your favorite part of that night? Was it probably your performance, or was it something else?
I enjoyed my performance. Yeah, I'm not trying to be selfish.
No, go
I
ahead.
really enjoyed the performance, even though I was nervous. But I honestly, the more I enjoyed the people, just talking, 100%.
Yeah, of course. Now, also on your Instagram, I saw that you took a famous photo with a legendary basketball player who's very tall. How did you meet this guy, and what went into that photo?
Straight up, he was just working on our gym, and I asked him to play one-on-one basketball or two-on-two. I think it was with my boys. Obviously, basketball again. And he said, "No, man, I have to go home." I was like, "Okay, can we take a picture, please?" I was like so like intimidated, right? But like it was good meeting him actually. Like he told me he wanted to pursue his career to Purdue. I don't know where he's at right now, but definitely a big dude.
Yeah, that photo on his Instagram is an all-time photo. That
Yeah,
photo
for
is
sure.
crazy. Now, also before we wrap things up, I think it would be a disservice if you didn't give the listeners a little, and viewers on YouTube, a little freestyle rap of your own.
I did not do it for so long. I don't even know how to do it, PK. You're putting me on the spot right now.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I'm not trying to sound cringe, to be honest. I don't. PK, I'm not trying to like ruin the fun here, but I honestly don't know. I
damn, that's
I'd
no, I
rather,
got you. No, I got you. That's all right.
rather
Next time. Obviously, when you eventually give us the confirmation that you are coming out to LA, I do plan on having you back on in person. So I do think that'll be very fun, especially having
maybe
you.
we can stop it. Maybe we can stop by Compton
Oh,
at a corner
absolutely.
or something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll hit up all the spots. But yeah, it'll be nice to have you in person and have a good flow. Obviously, in-person interviews are nice because of the flow
100%,
that
yeah.
way. So I like that. So where can people find you on social media?
Um, I don't really like. I'm just on Instagram. I think it's Matej Pekar, just MATJPKR. On Twitter, M Pekar number 10. Um, and that's also I have. I got Facebook, but it's just my name, and I didn't go out there for like a couple of years. So
Yes.
um,
So for those who want to go catch Matej on Facebook, there you go. Now, another question I wanted to ask is, who would you like to see me interview on this podcast?
um, Hakkarainen, Mikael Hakkarainen.
Okay,
I would love to see him on the podcast.
I definitely can. I definitely think I can make that happen. I've been DMing with him on Instagram a little bit, so I definitely think that
Yes.
that's a possibility. Now, I also want to remind everyone consuming this podcast to follow the podcast Instagram, PK Plays Podcast, and also you can follow my Instagram as p.hughes15. Matej, it was very fun having you on this.
Great talking to you, Big again.
Thank you. Yeah, this time flew by. Honestly, we'll have to get you on again when I'm out in LA in a few months. I look forward to that. So,
When are you
so,
really when will you be there?
so I'm gonna be there early June. Without giving it away, to the audience. I'm gonna be there early June, and I'm gonna stay for a whole month through like mid July. Gonna be there for the 4th of July. So
Oh, you live there,
it's
right?
like so my dad works out in LA. He's
Oh,
actually
that's
looking for
awesome.
yeah, so he's
Do
looking
you-
for a new place actually pretty close to Igor the second. So I think
Is it
if I
is
could
it like
swing,
where does he live? Is it like Venice Beach, I think, right? Something
yeah,
like that.
he lives around that area without really giving away the town he lives
Obviously,
in because we don't
obviously.
need anyone
No,
stalking him. But yeah,
exactly.
he
Yeah, yeah.
he,
I'm
he
not.
lives around he lives around that area. So I would if I could swing that would be very convenient to have Igor the second on again, have other guests, other people that he knows on. So I'm looking forward to banking a lot of in-person interviews and especially having a backlog of episodes for the podcast. So yeah, like I said, I appreciate you coming on, Matej,
Thank you,
and
PK.
no problem. And as always, we're putting the social back in social media here at PK's Place. So thanks for coming on, and everyone enjoy the rest of your day.